As always, what's up? All right, today I thought I'd share a couple little tidbits. This isn't a complete teardown of a clutch or anything. This individual's bike isn't that old and wanted me to adjust the clutch, and I did it for him, and then about a month later, he comes back, needs me to adjust the clutch again. That tells me that he's slipping the clutch entirely too much, taken off. I don't think he does the old high rev racing clutch dump thing, if you will. That's what I refer to it, when it's already at top speed, and then for some reason people will squeeze the clutch thinking that gets more RPMs in the motor and lets it freewheel a little bit and then releases the clutch handle, and like that's going to take you any faster. All that's really doing is wearing out your clutch pads. Doesn't really get you any more speed. But for those who've never seen inside their side of their engine, like someone who bought one new and just out riding, hasn't had any clutch problems or adjustments yet, this is what it looks like. Here's your outer pressure plate. Right here is your push rod. It actually has a spring in there. When you push that, it pushes on the flower nut that's in the center and pushes this plate away from the clutch pads. That is what's happening when you push your clutch, or push it, squeeze the handle. Just used to cars, so I guess I said push it. But anyway, that's just a general synopsis of how that dude works. But anyway, when you take off, the best scenario is to release the clutch as rapidly as you can. That way it engages. That high revving and slipping the clutch to get going while you're pedaling is just hard on your clutch system. And it prematurely, unnecessarily wears out your clutch pads. Now his still have some life to them, so we're going to leave them alone. I cleaned them up with carburetor cleaner, the chlorinated kind. Oh, not carburetor cleaner, brake cleaner. My fault. Carburetor cleaner is too harsh on with the chemicals, so I use chlorinated brake cleaner. But my little tip for today is, and I've seen others made videos of it, but I personally didn't agree with how much and how they did it. When you buy the little motors, sometimes they put a little film of grease on this and it wears right off. They don't do an adequate job, because this is your drive gear from your crankshaft, which runs your ring gear on your clutch system, and that is what propels you down the street. And sorry about the camera moving there. Had to go for the old hex head wrench for a quick little demo. And that's what I also use to do the lubing about what I'm going to show you. But when your piston's going up and down, that's what's happening in your engine world to drive you down the road. It engages the center, which is your drive through output shaft, and that's what gets you going down the road. But anyway, these gear teeth are usually dry, and sometimes in some motors you can hear them, whine or doing their job when you're riding or whatnot. Some are bad, some are not. I mean, it's natural. So if yours is doing it, it's not a problem. It's just kind of a little tidbit annoyance. But myself, I've seen guys completely fill the teeth with grease. Wear-wise, that is a good idea. But it is a dry clutch system. It's not an oil clutch system like in a motorcycle, where the clutch system is in its bath of oil all the time, and it doesn't mind it being oily. These mind being oily. If you get a bunch of grease and oil on these, the clutches slip all the time and don't move you down the road properly, and it just gets worse from there. But I do like to put a thin film of lubricant on here, and I'm going to show you. I just have an old paintbrush that I use. I personally use a little Lucas oil because I don't want grease. Grease doesn't stay on there the way you would like it to stay on there, but the Lucas stabilizer oil does. But you don't cake it on there and drippy. You just basically moisten the brush and wipe some on. and it fits right in there. I just want a film of oil. Oop, gotta move that. I just want a film of oil on my ring gear and on my bevel gear. And then I will take, this one's fortunate, doesn't have the screw head, and then I'll move it and repeat. I just want a mist of oil, if you will. Just want it coated so it's not completely dry boned. And I will repeat this all the way around both gears. That way when the engine gets warm, we don't have a bunch of excess grease flopping around in here, sticking in our case, because when the engine gets warm, it turns a little more to liquid, and it can run down, drip, whatever the case may be, get on your pads, and now you have to replace the pads, because after they soak up oil, they're pretty much just toast. So, just today's friendly little suggestion, if you have a little paintbrush, and if you don't use Lucas oil, even any oil will do. I just like this because it's sticky and it sticks onto the gears better. And sometimes it quiets them down while they're going down the road. I don't guarantee that, but I have noticed it in a couple bikes in the past, because if I have to do any clutch work, I always do this because it doesn't hurt anything. It could only help. But yes, I just paint and get a little mist of oil, just a film, if you will, on the teeth, and it's way, way better than them being bone dry all the time. All right, that's today's tip. I'm going to put the outer clutch plate back on here and get this adjusted and get them back rolling down the road. So I hope everybody has a good day. This is all the work I'm doing today, all 15 minutes of it.